But if you close your eyes,
hey guys, welcome to an interesting video by Maximus. Today we're back with more Injustice Gods Among Us, and today we'll be discussing patch 2.18. So it just dropped either today or yesterday. I'm not sure because, as you guys have noticed, for the past week I've not released any videos despite having returned with my Super Pill video. So that's because I've been overseas in Australia having a vacation, having a real good time. But anyways, I just came back yesterday, and now the update has just dropped either today or yesterday. I'm not sure, but I just updated this morning, and we're going to be talking about it real quickly in this video. Let's just quickly get into it. So the first, there's actually a couple of changes besides those stated in here. So basically, the two main changes is a new character, which is Rebirth Green Arrow, as well as a new gear, which is the Tantu Totem. Of course, it says minor fixes. So as with every update, there are minor fixes, and those minor fixes normally involve small tweaks to characters or gears. And the only one that I know of so far from reading the Injustice forums just earlier today is that Teen Titan Raven's passive does not trigger on every special anymore, which was changed the last update, which did make her powerful for a little while, although I never really used her personally. But yeah, just want to let you guys know about that, and if there are any future changes, I will mention them in my later videos. I am planning to do a Claw of Horus video really soon, because as you guys know, I still have it upgraded, and we're going to be doing it real soon. Alright, so anyways, let's just quickly get into the new character and gear. So, we're going to scroll over here. So here we have Rebirth Green Arrow. Of course, as with all characters, they have pretty high stats lately. So his passive is called Trick Arrows, which does seem pretty similar to Green Arrow's passive, as in the naming and all. But basically, reading the description, Green Arrow fires a random trick arrow that triggers on impact when he tags in. And when Green Arrow switches for another Rebirth character, he fires a random trap arrow that's triggered by certain enemy actions. If not triggered, the trap arrow disappears after 5 seconds. So, this is a pretty long passive, but basically breaking it down, when he tags in, he fires an arrow that has a random effect. When he tags out to a Rebirth character, he fires an arrow with a random effect as well, but the random effect has to be triggered by an enemy action. So basically, we have no idea what these actions are or what the arrows do, which will pretty much make or break this character. So, but the way I see it is that tagging out and having a trap arrow does not seem that reliable, because it has to be triggered by your enemy, not by yourself. So if you had to do something to trigger it, it'd probably be a bit better. But knowing that we all fight the AI, and the AI may not do what you want them to do, or maybe you can try to manipulate them into doing it, like maybe if it's triggered by a special, or I don't know what else it could be triggered by, but it seems that it could be unreliable unless it's triggered by something like basic attacks or blocks. So the way I see is that it could only be triggered by one of three things: either blocking, activating special 1, activating specials either 1 or 2, and as well as basic attacks, and they could be light or heavy. So I think those are 3 of the things that could trigger it. But either way, unless they want it triggered by basic attacks, I think it's hard to trigger within 5 seconds if they don't block or activate specials. So it could be unreliable. And for both tag in and tag out arrows, whether he's gonna depends on what kind of effects that they bring. So basically, if it's like a stun, a freeze, that could be really good because you could get a free special. But if it's something like a dot, it would depend on how long it lasts, and how much damage it does per second. Something like Apocalypse Darkseid's dot. And in this aspect, I think that the original Green Arrow is a lot more reliable, because you can trigger it by doing light attacks by yourself. But of course, this Green Arrow has better stats, and it could be way better depending on what effects the arrows have. So basically, we're gonna have to wait until he's out to check out exactly what kind of effects that the arrows have and how to trigger them. which could be tomorrow because the current Scorpion challenge has just a couple more hours to go before we can get a new challenge. So he could be the next challenge character, or we could have a repeat. So you never know because as of 2 updates ago, they begun to not release their characters the moment the update comes. And same as well for the online challenges. We just had the Super Pill a while ago and Deadshot before that, and that took at least a month after the update, so who knows when the Tantu Totem is coming. But anyways, the Tantu Totem is really good gear. I'm just going to scroll over right now to the totem, and you guys got to check out these effects. This gear is game changing, and I'll explain why in a second. So I did take some time to mull over exactly what the repercussions of its effects are. So firstly, we're going to go through its effects. So 30% crit chance on specials. Clearly, a lot of other gears have higher crit chance on specials than this one, but I would like to point out that this gear is universal for special 1 and 2 for the crit chance. So I do think that's pretty good. And this gear is entirely centered on specials, if you guys have not noticed, much like how the Super Pale gear is for basic damage, more or less, as well as a bit of sustain with healing. So next up, we get 35% of maximum power on tag in. So if you guys break it down, 1 bar is like 33.33% of power because we have 3 bars. So basically, roughly, I would change this text to get like a bar of power on tagging, so that's pretty good. It's basically having like Batgirl's passive on yourself. Although to fully take advantage of this, you're gonna have to put your character on a slot that's not the first one and then tag in to get basically a free bar of power at the start of the game. And thinking about it, with characters such as Batgirl, that could be 2 bars of power, and Arkham Origins Batman could get 3 bars of power if it does work. Because unlike the Ra's al Ghul Scimitar, which has a limit of max 2 bars, this does not mention that in the description. So theoretically, you could get 3 bars of power on Arkham Knight Batman as well as Arkham Origins Batman at the start of the game by tagging them in after the moment the fight starts. So that could be, that is really good. It's basically giving you a free bar power, and you can basically tag in and tag out and get more power. That seems pretty good. So next up, we have restore 100% power for a special if enemy was KO'd with it. So now that is monumental because for anyone who has a very high special damage and can knock out enemies with specials, you can basically activate your special again and potentially hit another enemy with it. So in fact, multi-hit specials can knock out multiple enemies. However, there's no way that you get more than what you use. So basically, if you use a special one and knock out 2 enemies, they're only going to give you 1 bar back. I highly doubt you'll get 2 bars back, even though you knocked out 2 people. But yeah, but that's obviously a really good ability. And the ability that I'm the most excited about, I think is the best for this entire gear, is the ability you get when you evolve it. So you get 100% power back for special if enemy took no damage. So now this is massive. This is huge because of 2 reasons that I can immediately think of: Injustice to Superman as well as the Astro Hunter's gear. So basically, this gear with this effect makes the 2 of them pretty weak, and this gear definitely will change the entire meta of Injustice right now, because every defense team has Astro Hunters, and basically 95% or more teams that you face on multiplayer have Injustice to Superman on it. So you get 100% power back if the enemy took no damage. So basically, you can burn through Superman's Kryptonian Fortitude without wasting any power at all. So that pretty much makes his passive useless. So basically, you try to get him to not block, you just break his combo or whatever, you remove his shield, you get your power back, and you activate the special on him again and basically do damage, basically making Injustice to Superman more or less useless, because he would now just be a character with very high stats and his passive would be no use, which will definitely be game changing. And of course, we have the Astro Hunters meta, which which we have on basically every single multiplayer defense team, and basically it's gonna activate 3 times. So when the Astro Harness activates, clearly you do no damage, so you should be getting all your power back. And when you do activate your specials, you do so-called waste time in game. So basically, when their shield is on, they could be attacking or activating specials on you. So instead, what you could be doing is you could be activating specials on them and not wasting a special. So what I could see here is, if activating one special does not pass enough time for the shield to deactivate, you could just be activating specials again and again and again, basically chaining specials in a way on them. So you could just be chaining specials until their shield goes off, and then activate your actual special, and then when their shield comes back on again, maybe after 50% or whatnot, you tag okay, not tag out, because this works only on one character, but you maybe burn through their first shield special 1 when you have 2 bars, then you activate special 1 for real, you get to the second shield, and you start activating special 1 back to back again until the second shield is gone, and then you do special 1 for real on them and do the actual damage, and maybe knock them out and get all your power back again. So basically, this gear to me is way too overpowered, much like how the super pill seemed really strong when we got it, and it is really strong. But I think that this is possibly the best gear in the game for any character that is focused on specials. Of course, not on the characters that are basic attack oriented. This would not be too useful for them, but I can see a lot of characters really benefiting from this gear. Notably, maybe Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Origins Batman, who pretty much activate specials at the start of the game, possibly knocking out an enemy or possibly getting 3 bars. Actually, not really possibly, but definitely getting 3 bars, because everybody chooses the extra 2 bars on Arkham Knight Batman. So basically getting 3 bars at the start of the game, and possibly knocking out the first character and getting all their power back. And as well as characters like Luchador Bane or Batgirl with the Cloak of Destiny, combo with the Tantu Totem, knocking out an enemy almost for sure using the combined effects of the Cloak of Destiny and their stun, and then possibly repeating the process again for maybe Batgirl, and sweeping through the whole team just using special 1 like 3 times maybe, or maybe even like once because of the League of Assassins knives. So this could be a real game-changing gear. But I really like this small update, and although it was a small update, we got a massive gear and a refresh skin for a character that everybody wanted. Not everybody, but a lot of people wanted. And we also have a lot of we don't have a lot of changes, but we at least see that Injustice 1 is still alive and it's still going with these updates, although not so often nowadays, but we still have updates, so I'm happy with any update I can get. So anyways guys, thanks for watching this video, and goodbye.